We're live.
Yo, let's look. Let's take a look. Yeah, I see you. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
I had to exit out the other thing. All right, cool. So we're live,
All right.
man.
All right. Yo, crazy fun topic for me today. Is college a scam? That's the big thing. No, I listen. As a guy, I think we both have our degrees, right?
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. So we both have our degrees. I went to graduate school a couple years ago. So the great debate is school worth it, or should you put money into like joining masterminds, networks, or however you want to put your money? We both have different takes on it, and I think it's a really good discussion, right? Because as everybody is getting pushed to go to higher education, it's there's a lot of debate to see if it has the return of investment or if it's worth it to you. So, Phil, what do you think, bro?
I want to say that it really depends on what you are going after as far as a major. So if you're going for a doctor, if you're going for a lawyer, I think all of those professions deserve to go to college. Like as far as not deserve, but like go to college to learn, get the skills, build the knowledge that you're gonna need for that profession. I think there's some sort of engineering that I also will throw in there too as well. I will also say like engineering mean like rocket scientists and all that stuff. I feel like that needs to be done. But I think you also can learn that if you were like maybe an assistant to somebody. But outside of that, every other discipline I think you can learn from YouTube or going to work for something to building skills on top of their knowledge. And that's how I feel about it. Like, so, like any major like profession that you need to like either do law or like save someone's life, I think that is a deserving of degree and that higher education. That's how I feel about it. But there's other topics we can discuss. But I'll kind of throw it to you and see what you think about that.
Yeah, I think it's well, first off, I think it's getting too expensive, right?
Yeah.
I think back in the day, nobody had a degree. Like if you're looking at like
Yeah.
when my parents were our age,
Yeah.
it was a lot rare to go to college, and it was prestigious. It was an honor. I was the first. Actually, no, my sister was the first person to graduate from college in our whole entire family, and it was a great accomplishment, right? And I think nowadays it's a check in the box.
Yeah.
Like, I graduate high school, or no, I'm a junior in high school, and you're being molded to think you have to go to college, right? So you start applying, you start doing all these things, and then now it's a check in the box. Like, I have to get a bachelor's degree to get a job, right? And then, and there's so many different degrees, which is like shiny object syndrome, right? Like I look at college degrees like a shiny object syndrome. Like, what's the point of getting a general studies degree and you're paying 60 grand, a year or whatever it is to get this degree, and then you get a job that pays you 50 grand a year, right?
Yep.
It's going to take you like 30 years to pay it off. It's like a mortgage. And, there's so many opportunities for you now to like do plumbing or trade school or whatever it is, or start, you know what I mean? Like there's just so many more
Yeah.
opportunities for you.
Well, I'll add on top of that where I mean, college doesn't really teaches you anything in the first 2 years. It's basically like a review and overcap of the actual subjects that you've already learned in grade school, like high school, like English, you have science, you have like math, but like you don't actually get to learn your degree of interest actually the first year. You gotta wait like a couple of years into it, and that's what I don't really get about it. It's all a money pit too as well, and I don't think people realize college is a business. It's
Oh
a
my gosh.
business that you got to pay tens and tens of thousands of dollars uh, to actually get another piece of paper. You're spending money, which is paper, to get a bigger piece of paper.
And everyone knows too, like we're real estate investors, right? So like
Yeah, yeah.
think about the dorms. it's like co-living on steroids. Like fit four dudes in a dorm room and they each pay like 3 grand. You know, it's like what the heck, right? It's like think about that. Like thousands of students paying like 3 grand a semester
Yeah.
for their dorm room. It's just like oh my gosh. But for me, I think that school is great. Like I had a really good experience, but the thing is, when I was 18, when I was applying to schools, like I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to study, and like it's just we were kind of forced to go to school. Like my
Yeah.
parents were like, if you don't go to college, like you better get out of the house or get a job. And it's like, well, I don't want to do that. Like I guess I'll go to college, right? So I feel like we're forcing people to go to college really young. They don't really know what they're doing. They're pulling out student debt to go to these colleges, not knowing what they want to do, and it's just kind of like a cycle of all this stuff, right? Like Victor said, it's crazy how things have diverged, right? The Department of Labor has an entire site like dedicated to this,
Yeah.
right?
That's what he
It
said.
it's absolutely crazy, and like I for me like I got my MBA, like I got a degree in business because I thought, oh, I run a business, like let me see if I can like learn. And dude, like I spent like 50 something grand and I didn't learn jack shit. In my opinion,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, we can bash on it. I'm always down to bash on a business model that's been successful for many many years, but yet people still go to it. I mean, I totally agree with you, Tim. And as far as when it comes down to, you don't really learn shit. You just show your employer that you can learn shit, right? You're like, oh, I just graduated college, but in the eyes of a person that's been in the industry or in the workforce for so many years, it doesn't mean anything, honestly speaking. When I graduated college, as a technical like college, I learned software engineering. I didn't know shit. Like I had to actually learn how to code for real in the real world. So I'm like, did I just wasted 2 years of my life learning how to learn when I gotta restart what I just learned? I'm like, bro, what the
I
F?
know it, dude. It's crazy, right? Like, granted, I think going to a graduate degree for your MBA, right? Like, I can only speak on a master's of business administration, but if I went to like a top 10 program,
Yeah.
now, granted, I'm paying like 200 grand a year or whatever it is. I think I just listened to Dan Fleischman's podcast and it was like this guy graduated from Wharton's, right? It's like the top, three schools for an MBA. It cost him 250 grand to get that degree. And I would say that, networking is good, right? Like you can meet
Yeah.
other, business people, entrepreneurs in the space. However, like even that guy, I forgot his name, but like he spent 250 on his degree and he blames losing another 250 with opportunity cost. Like he
Yeah.
spent 2 years in school not growing his business and was just getting educated, right? So I think there's a lot of things that I think about now that I'm like older and I've been
Mhm.
through it. It's like, is it worth the opportunity cost to go to get your MBA? I think if you're in corporate America, absolutely, right? Because that's also a check in the box now. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, a lot of jobs won't pay you more unless you get your MBA.
Yeah, what I will speak to that, I will speak to the part with the networking part of it. I think I was recently like changed perspective on like college and the opportunity that you have as a networking. If you go to like these like frats or like these business frats or these business events and networking, that you can actually t get taught a lot under a certain amount of pressure, like learning how to maybe think on your feet, critical thinking. If you're put in situations where you're under pressure, I feel like that is something that is beneficial, that you can have a mock type of real world setting, real world situation in the college setting, and then you have to perform under a deadline. I feel like that is beneficial, and you going through that with other people within your peers can build camaraderie, and maybe forge a relationship that can last outside of college and maybe do business together. I have a friend that went through that process, and she is able to get more wealthier because of that. And it kind of showed me like, oh, you know what? I didn't have the opportunity when I was in college. Maybe that was the difference between my success and her success in a sense. Like maybe I could have been more successful if I was in these types of groups and was able to collaborate with like-minded folks and suffer together in a sense, while paying for it, literally and
Yeah.
physically.
I I think there's always pros and cons to both, right?
Yeah,
Like I met some great people in both my like in my undergrad and my graduate program. It's just I think it just depends on where you are in life and what your goals are, right?
yeah,
Like if you're aspiring to climb a corporate ladder and get paid $200,000-300,000 a year in a W-2, which is very possible. Like I know tons of people that get
yeah,
paid a lot of money for their W-2. But if you're trying to start something on your own, I think you just lose a lot of time and you lose a lot of opportunity cost money. So like I've been saying opportunity cost like 1,000 times. Like what is opportunity cost? Opportunity cost is how much money you're losing because you're not actively doing whatever you're trying to do, right?
hmm,
So, for me, like you know, let's say you can make $1 million in our real estate business. If you worked full time in that year, I've lost $1 million in opportunity costs
yeah,
because I was gone going to class, right? Econ 101,
yeah.
marketing 101. Like, dude, my marketing professor, me and my marketing professor in my MBA program got into a fucking brawl because he's like teaching us like basic marketing, like how these companies kind of lay out these things. There's like the three pillars of marketing, and it's like, bro, you have no idea what 2025 is like. It's about running ad. It's about running copy. It's about building the right funnel,
Yeah,
right? It's about optimizing your marketing. Like, bro, I could teach a marketing course at a college. You know
I
what I'm
think you could
saying?
too.
Yeah, like it's just kind of crazy to me. Like that's what they teach, and he was a PhD, got a doctorate in marketing, and bro has no idea how to actually make money with marketing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not trying to bag this on any teachers. I just want to make this as a realization. Whereas the people that you're learning from are a salary worker. They're actually not individuals that have potentially done anything in the real world, or if they did anything in the real world, it's like their past life where they're just kind of outside the loop. And so like when you think about that, you're like, okay, take it with a grain of salt. Like I'm learning from a person that is disconnected from the real world and has their own views and their own perspective on what they felt like it was going on in that time. And so when you are looking at that as a lens of a student to a teacher, you're like, I am paying this person $30,000 a year or this institution $30,000 just to learn past knowledge. Just be aware of that,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah,
And so like if you're in college right now, just be aware that you are learning outdated shit,
yeah. That's
basically.
actually that's actually a really good point, right? Like
Right?
like my buddy who he went to Harvard Business School, right? Very prestigious. The one thing that I will say about his experience versus mine
Yeah, it's different.
is that their adjunct professors were freaking killers, bro.
Hmm.
Like their marketing, like I compare my marketing professor to theirs
Yeah.
was like made $8 million off a funnel. I'm like, okay, like that guy I would pay like 100 grand to learn from, right? Because that's just the difference between a lifetime educator, right? So nothing wrong with college. I just want to say, like, there's a lot of bashing with higher education, but
Yeah.
there are really great opportunities in higher education to network, to meet friends, like lifelong friends, stuff like that. But it just depends on, you know, is that Tim? That's probably Tim Yee.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of crazy to me to see like lifetime professors that are trying to teach business school stuff. And I asked them like, hey, have you ever started a business or have you ever done this? And the answer is no.
Yeah.
And it's like, how are you teaching entrepreneurship in business if you've never really done it? And that's my biggest gripe.
Well, I'm gonna, yeah, I totally agree 100% with that statement because you can't teach where you haven't gone yet, basically. But to Victor's, I'll put Victor's question up on here too as well. It says, I'd love to hear your thoughts, but based on what I'm seeing, essentially anything not physically demanding is going to be phased out so quickly by AI, and I didn't read that fast enough.
It's
It's
gonna
going to
make the
be,
world's head spin.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, we totally agree with you, dude. Honestly, we had I think a show the first show we talked about AI and how eventually wholesaling is going to be a one man band, one man show. where we are currently building out an AI. Well, I've already built an AI bot thanks to Tim, and then we're also building an AI voice agent to take those calls that are basically when you're basically sleeping and when you're not working, and setting appointments for you to close. And or I know Google had this thing out recently where they are giving students in college and grade school access to their AI platform for free. And I feel like we're in this new age where there's going to be a bunch of kids that are going to smoke the living crap out of millennials on AI.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like us with cell phones, man.
Yeah.
Like we destroyed the older generation with cell phones. I just think here's the thing. Like let's tie this back into school. So
Yeah.
let's say I go to college to be an accountant, right? There's people that get accounting degrees, so they spend
Oh.
50 to 100 grand to go get their bachelor's. Then they go work for a CPA firm, and maybe some of them are entrepreneurs and they start their own firm. Well, guess what? There's a robot that we have that can do our books for us,
Yep.
right? And then eventually you'll have a robot that can probably do your taxes for you. The only thing that it can't do is probably give you the highest tier of like tax strategy, but eventually it will get smart enough to pull the right data and give
Hmm.
you tax strategy, right? So you spend 100 grand to get a college degree to be an accountant, and in 5 years your job's cooked,
And that's your opportunity cost right there. Like, right, you
right
can
there.
study 5 years, pay 100 grand, or go to work for somebody for 5 years and make 100 grand. That's your opportunity cost. Which one are you going to pick, right, as a person? But yeah, I totally agree with you, man. Like AI is going to be here for a long time. Everybody's spending a fuck ton of money on investing in it. The big companies are. Where I'm at right now in Richmond, Virginia, they're going to build like another $1 billion or $1 billion server facility data center from Google down here. So like it's going to be crazy.
It's getting bigger and bigger, man.
And that also increases real estate prices. So wherever tech goes, real estate prices rise. And so I'm like, I'm just gonna buy more properties down where I'm at. So it just makes sense for me, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And guys, if you have any like questions or comments, um, put them in the chat. We'd love to have a dialogue and have this conversation. But and like I said, like we've been to college, right? Like would I do it again? No, right? I think that's my consensus. Is like I probably wouldn't do it again. But the one thing I do have to say is I am who I am because of my past,
Yeah, of course.
right? So like maybe I wouldn't be the same person. Maybe I wouldn't know how to do certain things because I did go to college. That I
Hmm.
picked up some of those skills. But I look at everything now as skill acquisition,
Yeah.
right? Like if I go to college, what skills am I obtaining to be better? So for me, it's probably communication. Like I was kind of like an introvert until I went to college, and then I kind of became like a party animal. You know what I mean? Like I was like a frat boy athlete. So for me, it was more gaining communication skills, feeling more comfortable in my skin, which then eventually probably translated to like what my sales background is. So I try to look at it in that light now as like, okay, if I go to school, like what am I getting out of it in terms of skill, right?
Yeah, I just learned how to cheat better. That's about it. Be more
Hey,
resourceful is what I'm saying.
it's good for business too, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
R&D, right? Rip off and duplicate. Honestly, like I think for me, it was just learning how to think logically and in a step by step manner. Like basically how to make a freaking PB&J sandwich from like scratch, like how to plant the wheat, how to grow the peanut, and then all the other stuff and how to mash it and how to you do all that stuff like into software engineering. Like so I had to basically learn like everything from scratch, learn a whole new language of development, how to be resourceful and how to basically understand programming languages, like what everything did and how it interconnected. So that was a different set of skills that I haven't or I wasn't taught basically in my school. Critical freaking thinking, like literally critical thinking. That's like the one skill that I would say that I got the most benefit out of.
You know what's hilarious?
What's that?
What do you think my bachelor's degree was in?
Critical thinking. Well, I know it was. I don't know. It was in business, was it?
No, it was psychology.
Oh, psychology. Oh shit.
which I find hilarious because I always made jokes when I was younger. I was like, man, I got like this like throwaway degree, like bachelor, like psychology in the bachelor's level is kind of a throwaway,
It is.
honestly,
Yeah.
until you go to your master's. So I was actually going to do my master's before I joined the army, and now I make jokes about. Like I'm like Jeremy Minor. Like Jeremy Minor always says this. He's like, "Oh, like I have a psychology degree." Like that's what he went to college for, right? And like he says like psychology is what like started his NEPQ like sales
Uh,
process,
yeah.
Moani says that's my bachelor's too, psychology, but she did get her master's. So
Yeah.
are you a therapist? Are you like a counselor, social worker? Like are you actually using your degree right now? I'm very curious to hear. Oh, she's a nurse. Oh my
Oh no.
gosh.
Okay.
Okay.
That
So
works. That works hand in
yeah,
hand.
so but I'll show this right here. Like I'll
Uh,
tag this. I'm now a nurse. So most people, I wish I had this statistic. I wish we had like an admin pulling like stats right now. But what is the statistics behind what you study on your bachelor's, and what is your job when you graduate? Like what is the numbers? And Jason, I would have thought the degree would be in arts. Or is that a diss or is that a compliment? Cause I could be artsy sometimes. Jason Torres is like laughing, bro. What a troll, dude.
so you end up asking what statistics, what you study and versus like on your bachelor's versus your job, more or
Yep.
less. So like I did some ChatGPT. So around 52% of recent college graduate reports being underemployed after the first year. Okay, so
Crazy.
think
That's
about that. Like
crazy.
you spent
That's a
four
bad
years
stat.
going to college and you can't find a job. Like 52% of you guys. That's like that should show you guys something. But let me see here. One survey says 46% of college graduate says they work in the role aligned with their major. So about 46, okay. That I feel like that's kind of a whatever. I feel
That's yeah.
like I don't know about that, but okay. Many report 25 to 43% of college graduates are overqualified for their jobs.
That makes sense.
Okay,
That makes
okay.
sense too. Yeah, because think about it. You're getting a bachelor's and then you end up working like okay. So I'll look at
Yeah.
Jason's comment. So you know someone that graduated with an accounting degree and decided to be a data entry clerk, right? So he decided to stay at a lower level because that's what they wanted.
Right.
So you go to college for 100, like 80 grand of debt, and you choose to stay as a data entry clerk, right? So that's kind of, I mean, I get it. Everyone's got different preference. Everyone's got different goals.
Yeah.
So it just depends, right? What you want to do.
I will say this, it just came to my mind where like you actually don't know if you're like this has been a crazy time, right? Because AI is out right now. You don't actually know if you're gonna have a job in 4 years. So
It's
you're gonna
true.
be paying all this freaking money on a hope and bet and dream. That's just so crazy to me right now that I think about it, right? Because like you're gonna pay 80, 60, 100 grand, whatever it is, just so you have a potential job, even though you know AI is out there and it could basically make your job obsolete,
I
which is
think
like
people, I think people are in denial too. Like
that's a
no,
risk.
nobody thought, like iPods and cell phones would take over the world, right? Now
Yeah.
everyone's on their phone 24/7. No one thought AI was going to be AI what it was last year, right? When AI first came out, or AI always existed, but ChatGPT made it like public, right?
Yeah.
And it made it popular. And no one thought like in a year from now that everyone is doing everything AI, right? Like we always make jokes like
Yeah.
I'm going to invest in a pre-revenue AI company, right? Like people are investing millions of dollars in company AI companies that have made no money. So, the pre-revenue joke.
Gold
So,
rush after gold rush. So it's crypto, and now it's AI.
yeah.
Um, I mean, you want to transition to like we've been bashing on college, but I mean, like I'm assuming like if you're a college person listening, is like okay, like me and Tim are bashing AI. Like what do I do now? Like what's the other alternative to college? You want to go down that route?
There's a lot of different
Yeah.
options. I would say one, let's talk about one at a time. So,
Yeah.
option one would be okay, this is like not going to school for like a specialty, right?
Well, this is okay. Let me kind of preface this way. How much does it cost to go to college on an average basis? So based on ChatGPT, between 2024, 2025, the sticker price for 1 year in-state public university all in is right under $30,000.
No way.
Yeah, $29,900 per year for in-state public university. If you're going to a private nonprofit college, which is kind of
That's even
funny,
worse. That's even
nonprofit,
worse.
whatever, $63,000 a year. Okay, that's freaking insane.
Hey,
So,
I hope you parents out there have your 529s, bro. Lined up.
so
I,
just
I hope
this
y'all saving money, bro.
it's insane. Okay, so and then let's see what else does it say? It says net of so if you have scholarships and grants, you'll probably pay anywhere between 20,000 to $21,000. Um, so just be aware of that, guys. So that's how much money you have to play with per year if you want to not go to college. Now, obviously, there is no like grants and scholarships for that. However, I'm sure you guys that are younger can be resourceful, right? And understand that when you invest this kind of money into maybe a mentorship, a skill set, that skill set's going to teach you how to make money back to pay that because you can't sell a skill if you don't know how to pay it back essentially, right? If you think about it that way, like a plumber, if you learn how to do a plumbing, then you'll learn how to do plumbing work, then they'll get a job or actually start a business. If you learn how to do marketing skills, then you can learn how to generate leads for a business because leads are the lifeblood of a business, and they'll make money as a business, and they'll pay you as a service, and the list can go on and on. So I want to preface that as a context to move into this next leg of conversation.
Yeah, so he hit her on the head, right? 30 grand a year for in-state college tuition on average per year. So if you do a 4-year college, it's 120 grand, right?
Hmm.
120 grand in debt. The alternatives are probably one, you can work, just straight up go work
Yep.
at whatever job you're looking to do to gain real life experience, right? So internships or whatever. Or two, which is becoming more and more talked about now, is trade schools,
Yeah.
right? How to be a plumber, how to be an electrician, because there's been a huge push in the last 10, 15 years of telling kids to go to college. Go get your college degree. Like my parents, as Chinese
Yeah.
immigrant parents, says, you better go get your damn degree or you're gonna go work. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, I don't want to go work, right? So I went to college. So, but the thing is, bro, plumbers. I met a 22-year-old plumber in Phoenix, Arizona. I was at a real estate event with Pace, right? And this young 22-year-old was a plumber. He went to trade school, and I said, bro, how much money do you make a year, bro? He makes 109 grand a year. Now he works like a dog, right? But he's 22 years old, making 100 something grand a year.
I mean, 22 years old, you can. Like, I was 22, I was working like a dog too. I didn't even feel it. Like, honestly, I was
Yeah,
like, I'm good.
yeah, yeah. Now I'm in my 30s, bro. I work like 4 hours. I'm beat up, right? But this young buck is making six figures, and he has aspirations to hire his own plumbing team and do his own jobs. Like, dude, just think about it. 22 years old. Like, can you imagine making 102 grand? And his trade school was free because the state like needs plumbers. The state
Yeah.
needs electricians, right? So the hands-on skills are very short in labor, right? Everyone wants to go to college, be a blue collar, or was it is it white collar?
It's blue collar.
Yeah, like blue collar is like you go to school, right?
Blue collar, you actually do plumbing, you do electrical,
Okay,
you do home-based
everyone
work.
wants to be white collar, bro.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: AI cannot cook a plumber. You think a robot's gonna fix my poop-filled pipes? Right? I
No.
mean, maybe one day, but like,
Yeah, yeah.
AI is not going to be rerouting all your electricity.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, Cody Sanchez and all those business buying gurus are talking about buy boring companies, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't cook that with robots.
Not yet, at least.
Like not yet. So, and you can make really good money and you can start a business, do all that stuff. And then what would be a next option beyond going to college if you were to redo this?
Yeah, so you talked about skill-based situation. If I had to redo this, I feel like if I were to go down the same path as I would normally go down, the software engineer, I would actually go to like a boot camp. Like I would cut all the BS of like undergrad shit, and I would just go strictly learning how to code what's actually working right now, and that's a fraction of the time. That's like a 12, 18 week course. You just do heads down work and you just learn all you can, and then you go make money, right? I feel like that's way worth it than going to a 2 year sitting in a classroom day in and day out, or actually depending on your schedule, sometimes night, sometimes day, and then you go get a job. Whereas these boot camps already have relationships already built out for people that have graduated or about to graduate, and then connect them with the employers. And so that's what I would probably redo if I was in my same situation. But if I didn't go through that process at all, I would actually invest into maybe learning through a mentor, right? If I'm playing with $30,000 a year, my first mentorship was $38,000, and how I
What was that?
justified it.
Was that
Fortune Builder.
Fortune Builders?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
freaking Fortune Builders, right? So it's funny because the amount of people that I gave me shit for it, I'm like, bro, do you guys not realize how much
Oh,
college cost?
I have a
Like,
story for you about that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Let's share it, dude.
So I joined a mastermind the same year I was in grad school. So I paid 30 grand to be in the mastermind that I actually became business partners with
Yeah.
Phil, right? And we can kind of talk about that too. But I paid 30 grand. My wife didn't know, right? I just, I got suckered in. I saw my credit card, and she found out later, probably the worst way. Like the guy who runs the program, actually no, the first time I'll tell you that story too. So
Yeah, yeah.
I paid 30 grand, and I'm like talking to my classmates in school. So they're like 25, 26 years old. And I'm like, on my laptop, like watching these mastermind videos, like while I'm in class. And they're like, bro, you're not even paying attention. I'm like, bro, I paid 30 grand to be in this. Like, I got to get my fucking value. And they're like, you paid 30 grand? And I was like, yeah. They're like, what do you do? I'm like, there's 2 in-person events, and that's it. Like, and I get some live Zooms here and there. And they're like, yo, you're fucking insane. And I'm like, guys, you literally paid like 36 grand for this piece of shit like program that
Yep.
we have not learned a single thing. I probably cheated my whole way, and I hope people in my MBA program don't see this. I'm so sorry. I love you
See it.
guys so much,
See it.
and I love my professors so much. Right? We've had a lot of fun, but I didn't learn anything. Okay. Yes, there was only 2 in-person events for the mastermind we joined, but I got something so much more valuable than what I paid. I
Yeah.
got Phil as a partner,
Yeah.
and together we've already made over 30 grand together. So,
Yep.
and we're buying something insane, which I can't wait to announce that too. But
Yeah,
like
dude.
we've done so many cool things together from hanging out for the entire year in that one group.
And
And
and more
yeah,
people that we actually got connected with that can lend us money on our purchases. So like if you think about the it's a filter, right? So if you're going to college, you're paying $36,000 or $30,000 a year. You're going to the same filter, but in a classroom setting. These people are your peers. Basically, they potentially may have not done anything. They may have done the same thing as you, or this might be their second round and going to school. Versus if you pay $30,000 to a mastermind, you have different walks of life with different income backgrounds, different like experiences that you can basically you know glean off of, and you can partner up with people and different skill sets to mirror or to match yours. And so it's way different than just your 4 year college sitting in a classroom listening to a professor talk versus collaborating with like-minded and maybe better off peers. So it's just a completely different
yeah.
mindset shift.
My thing is like if I'm gonna join a room, if I'm gonna join a program or
Yeah.
whatever, I want to be the dumbest dude there,
Oh, 100%.
right? I want to be the dummy. Like I don't want to be the guy that's like, oh my god, like, you know, everyone's not doing deals. I'm the only one doing deals. Like I want to talk to people that have done the shit. I,
Yep.
I, I want to talk to people that are doing the things that I want to do, that I'm missing something, right? There must be a reason why I'm not doing something the way that someone else is doing with the success that they're getting. And the only way, or obviously you can network with people naturally,
Yeah.
but this is like more controlled route, right? Like I'm not gonna meet like a millionaire off the street in Baltimore, Maryland. I mean, there are some rich people in Baltimore, but I'm not gonna meet them consistently, right?
Yeah.
Instead, we go to these like events, these seminars, or these like mastermind events, and like you're kind of forced to meet each other, right? Like you're
Yeah.
all coming in for just that event. No one's going to work. No one's doing these things. Like everyone's focused on this one thing. Um, But I know a lot of people don't see that value yet,
Yeah.
or they just don't really believe in it. And if you do want to go to school, I will kind of wrap this up for you guys in terms of, if you really need to go to school for personal reasons, or for, whatever the reason may be for you,
It could be the fact
could
that you
be
want to please your parents too as well. That's
that
that's
too.
a very Asian thing too as well. Like
Yeah,
we have to go to college because our parents sacrificed what they sacrificed for us to have this opportunity. So I completely understand that too as
I
well.
get that, right? You got to pay for your
Yeah.
generation, right?
Yeah, I get it.
But if you were to go to school, go get your associate's degree from a community college, right? But what? Why don't people go to community college for first years? Ego.
It's ego, yeah, ego.
Throw your ego out the window, because you're gonna go to a community college for 2 years and you're gonna spend 10 grand for those 2 years. You're gonna get the same prerequisites as you got from a $30,000 a year school. You do really good in community college. You get into a banging 4 year institution, and when you graduate, guess what the degree says? It doesn't say Westchester Community College. It says whatever UCLA or
Yeah,
Stanford University, whatever you get into, you graduate. That's what your degree will be, and you've cut hundreds of thousands of dollars off your debt,
yeah.
and you still have a college degree. That's what I would do. That's what Timmy would do. Um,
There's one thing that we did not discuss, and the other way that if you don't want to go to mentorship, it's too expensive. If you don't go to college, there is the military. Oh, I don't go to work too as well. There's the military route, which me and Tim have gone through. So we've actually been through all the stages. Actually, honestly, now speak out loud now, because I've been through the military. Tim's been in the military, and our military experiences have been different. But again, you're just going to another filtered room. It's just everything you go into is a freaking filter room, just depending on the knowledge and the income that's in that room. Um,
yeah. Think about it. This is a really good topic too, right? Like, I
yeah,
know
yeah.
we're over, but this is a really good topic in
Who
terms
cares?
of,
This is our
if you
show.
look. Yeah, it's true. Due diligence at the dark, 6 p.m. every Tuesday. If you look at your surrounding, right? I hate this terminology of like, you are the average of your five friends.
Yeah,
But if you really think about it, bro, it is so true. Like, my closest friends in the military, like, I'm really good friends with them because we hung out all the time, and that's
yeah,
a common, we hate the struggle, right? All this stuff together. We all get paid the same.
yeah,
We all have the same like ideas. We have the same like retirement strategies. Like, I'm gonna put it in the stock market, like, because those are who you hang out with.
yeah.
Now my friends talk about way different shit. Like, they're like, oh, how do you like structure this LLC, and like, how do
Yeah.
you raise money for this $2 million commercial property? It's a
How do you
little
not pay
different.
taxes?
How do you not pay taxes, right? It's different conversations because the people you hang around.
Yeah,
Like, me and my army friends, when I was fully integrated with the army, like, we all made the same amount. We all had the same net worth. It's all very similar, right?
hmm
Jason says, no, go to the military. Go to the military to be successful as you guys. Seems to be a common denominator.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that, bro.
Yeah,
It depends.
it really
It
depends.
depends.
I'm a big fuck up on the military, so you don't want to be like me. So
Yeah. Look. We have the opposite too. He was enlisted, and I wasn't, and I'm an officer, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
I don't
completely
really.
different.
Yeah. At the end of the day, though, like, people don't realize, like, once you take off the uniform, you're a normal dude. Like,
Yeah,
no matter what you are, like, no matter what rank you are, people forget. Don't forget this, is that you're still a person at the end of the day. And I think there is maybe a common denominator to military folks being successful, because I think we're used to just getting fucked,
we're just crazy.
right? Like, we're crazy, we work a lot, and I'm okay with getting beat down. Like, that's how like, I got beat down for 10 years, right? So I think entrepreneurship for me, I'm okay with getting no's, right? So
Yeah.
if anybody realizes that, I started off cold calling sellers, you know how many FUs I got in my years, right? A lot. I got thick ass skin, right? So maybe that's the common denominator, is like, we have a very like hardworking like mentality, and we're Asian. Like, Asian
Yeah,
people are like
Asian.
crazy too.
Yeah, we're crazy like that. We grew up with hard parents, beating us. Like,
Throwing slippers, dude.
yeah, all out of love. So, out of love, and just watching them work 2 or 3 jobs at a time. Like, that's all we've ever known, for me at least. And I just like, okay, this is kind of life. All right, cool. Just don't complain. If you complain, you just get, the stick. So it's like, all right, cool.
I wouldn't say like the stick, bro. But so like Moani says it's so true too, right? Yeah. See, Jason now he's got it. Like, I'm gonna hold on, I'm gonna tag this on the stream. Also be Asian. So if you guys
Yeah.
are not Asian, I'm so sorry. Maybe in your next life, right?
Yeah, maybe next life. I don't know.
But honestly, at the end of the day, it's just it doesn't matter what route you're going to, right? You can be very successful going to college. You can be very successful being an entrepreneur. You can be very successful being a freaking plumber, right? It just it depends on you as a person and like how you think about things. Now, if you're going to college, I will say try to think of it like the way that we talked about acquiring skills. Because at the end of the day, skills is what makes you money, right? So what does Hermosi say? Hermosi says your whole purpose in gaining knowledge, gaining education, networking with people is to pay off your ignorance tax.
Yeah.
And Phil, I know you know the definition, so I'm gonna pass that off to you. What is the definition of ignorance tax?
Basically, ignorance taxes, you pay for what you don't know. So if you don't know how to do something, or if you don't have a connection, you just basically pay for it. You basically expedite with velocity the from A to B. Like, how do you make this as short as possible? You just pay for it, basically.
Yeah, if you don't know how to make $1 million, your ignorance
Exactly.
tax is $1 million. So you're
Right.
losing $1 million a year. And Hermosi always says, I'm constantly chasing I'm constantly chasing to pay down my ignorance tax.
100%.
Right? So if you're gonna go to college, if you're gonna do something, like learn how to pay off your ignorance tax by learning your skills. So like sales skills, marketing skills, whatever you need to be successful, that's where you get, right? So we're paying people to coach us in marketing because that's what I need. I need to learn about, how to more effectively use cold emails to homeowners, right? Like that's my brand. That's what I want to master. So who do I do? What do I do? I can't learn this on my own. I obviously didn't learn it from my marketing professor. So how am I going to do it? I'm going to pay some dude who makes millions of dollars with marketing. I'm going to pay him 10 grand and I'm going to be like, teach me everything you know. Right.
Yeah.
But that's just me trying to acquire a new skill. And that's how I look at things now is, hey,
Yeah.
if I pay this guy 10 grand, 20 grand to acquire a skill, what am I going to get out of that on the back end? Same thing with college. If you pay 100 grand in college, what are you gaining out of that? Is it that promotion? Is it that connection to that professor that knows somebody that the job you want? Right? There's so many ways to look at it.
Or,
What's the or?
or if you're in college, learn how to leverage your student body in some sort of way, like as in make money from them. Provide a skill, provide a service, provide a product that maybe is missing in the marketplace, and just have that kind of pay your way if you really want to go down that route. Because I've heard many different stories of that, right?
What if you built an AI agent that did your homework for you and you just ran a homework agency, right? That's just like the crazy entrepreneur, right? Like, yo, I'm going to build an AI bot that does your homework for you, right?
Yeah. Just think about if you have a problem, somebody else probably has the same problem as you on campus, 100%. Like it's
Yeah.
obvious.
Yeah,
Um,
there was a guy on Hard Knocks that talked about, the host of Hard Knocks came with him and was like, hey, what's your biggest advice that you can give somebody? And he's like, if you're working a corporate job, start thinking in a different mindset. Start thinking in the way of how can you, like, what problem does your job experience?
Yeah.
And annotate that. And then over the years, you create the solution to those problems and then you sell that solution for a lot of money.
yeah,
Right?
that's smart.
But you got to think about it in that way instead of like, if you want to escape the rat race, you can escape the rat race in many ways. You can escape it in a W 2, you can escape it running a business, you can do all these different things, but you have to look at life like a problem, like, and how can you solve it?
Yeah.
Right? And then you may know what the solution is, but you're missing the skills to solve that problem. Like you
Or-
need
or who.
marketing or whatever. Or
Or
who.
who? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's huge too.
Yeah. I think that sums it up for me.
Yeah. All right, last minute questions if you guys have any. Would love to see if you guys have any questions, but I appreciate you guys in the chat and giving a shout out for the I'm gonna show it again. Also be Asian. Right? So,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
all right.
Uh,
You guys are great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Moani. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Feel free to show up and yeah, man. Thank you guys.